Hi, I'm Susan Kennard and welcome to the Spiritual Awakener. I'm really excited that you found this podcast. This podcast is where I interview people about a spiritual awakening or a turning point in their life that's led them to realize they were so much more than who they thought they were, and how they now help the collective, you, into healing yourself. I'm so excited today because I have a really impromptu guest. Rachel Doyle emailed me saying that she'd found this podcast, The Spiritual Awakener, that you're listening to now, and the universe conspired to get her on this very day. So I'm really excited, and I totally trust in my guidance of who I have on my show. So welcome, Rachel Doyle, to The Spiritual Awakener. Tell us about you.
Thanks, Susan. Thank you for getting me on so quickly. Yes, I think
Speed of light.
The universe is definitely giving me a big kick up the backside to talk about, my journey. So I'm 52, and I guess my sort of spiritual journey began probably in my 20s when, like a lot of people, dabbled with the tarot cards and just found it all really fascinating. But never did anything with it. Then a bit later on, sort of probably in my 30s, I came across sort of intuition type training and also Reiki. So I went through and I did my 3 sort of stages of Reiki. So I'm a Reiki master. But even so, the spiritual side of my life was very much in the background. It was something that I used for myself, quietly, on my family. Most people didn't know that I did it. I just found that it was interesting for me. It was like my hobby, and it was just, I loved the friends that I met in that world. The conversations that you can
like-minded people.
Absolutely like-minded people. So I think for a long time, really up until the last few years, the sort of spiritual side of me was very much in the background. And I was just dabbling with it, really. But as I was doing more Reiki, I started doing Reiki distance healing. Doing swaps with, other Reiki healers, never doing it as a business. And people saying to me, "Oh, you're such a powerful healer. You should do this as a business," But I wasn't feeling it.
No,
I enjoyed,
at that time.
I enjoyed the sort of level that I was doing, just for friends. But it wasn't something that I really felt like I wanted to do as a business sort of full time. And I've got another business, very much in sort of the mainstream world. I've got kiosks in shopping centres.
Oh, wow.
Fitting watch batteries. And that's been for 22 years. So I've very much got a foot in sort of the mainstream world, if you like. With the spiritual side of things very much in the background. Then the other thing I've always been interested in is natural health and nutrition and healing the body through natural foods, whole foods, and juicing, all that kind of thing. So I was very much into that, again, as a hobby.
And for yourself, really?
Absolutely, for myself. I then, alongside my other business, I started to help people with their diets and their nutrition. Because I'd seen what massive benefits you can do with food.
Because food holds a vibration, doesn't it? I trained as a naturopath many years ago, and it holds a vibration, doesn't it?
Absolutely does. And it very much is about, everything we put in our body has a consequence, whether that's a good consequence or a bad consequence. So I was very much aware of the whole sort of natural health and nutrition side of things, and I started to help people through this. But again, I just felt it wasn't really me. It wasn't my calling, my passion.
Your true excitement when you get up in the morning, like, one of the things that I help people with, I feel it's my mission to help people get on their mission, and there's nothing better than seeing that happen with people, right? So that's when you're on your mission, right?
Absolutely. And I actually got that with my first business, my battery business. I remember that when you first start. I mean, 2 years on, I can't say that I've got that same you know, at the beginning when you start, you know, absolutely. And for the first, you know, probably first 10 years, I had that, you know, amazing passion for it. But because that business pretty much runs itself now.
Yes, brilliant.
Franchises. I had more free time, and I was looking for something else.
Yeah.
Thinking that the sort of nutrition element was that something else. I'd spent a couple of years doing that. But the one thing that I realised was even somebody who had the perfect diet, which, you know, isn't me, I'm human, but I had a very near perfect diet. It still didn't tackle all the health issues.
I agree. Yeah.
And there's some health issues that people just cannot get answers to. What is causing it? So I had people that, you know, that followed a fantastic diet and did really well and were doing a really good job of looking after themselves.
Did they exercise as well? Were they exercising? Yes, so they were doing everything.
And the same for me. So when I'm talking about other people, I'm talking about myself as well.
Yeah.
Because of course we are always the first one that we experiment on.
I know, right? And it's not until we look back on it and go, it's about finding the teacher for yourself within yourself, isn't it?
Yeah, that's been my whole life really, is learning because I want to fix something in myself and then being able to help others once you've mastered it in yourself. So I realised that there was something more than nutrition. You know, it wasn't just about nutrition. And the thing that I couldn't rest with was that Mother Nature got it so wrong that we have to take pharmaceuticals in order to fix. I just didn't believe that was the case.
Yeah, there's something, isn't there, I think, in everybody, and you know, I'm not a doctor, so anybody listening to this, you know, if you do feel that you have something that is, I call it a message in the body, but if you feel that there's something going on in your body, then obviously it's important for you to make the right choices for you. And what we're doing here is we're just giving you another way of looking at your whole mind, body, soul. You know, I trained as a mental health practitioner, essentially in neuropsychology, working with disease, and so I'm not a physical GP. And Rachel, were you a doctor?
Absolutely
no
not.
So Rachel's not a doctor either, but we're coming from a scientific perspective of training and also empowering you to perhaps think about another way of healing yourself. Carry on, Rachel.
Absolutely, and I'll get into the pathogenics that I do in a minute, but just to say that a lot of my clients have spent many hours with their doctors, having appointments, having tests, and not getting any answers. But we'll come back to that in a minute. So I'm in this place where, you know, I've explored nutrition really deeply, and I've realised it's not the be and all and end all. It is very, very, very important, but there is conditions that are just you're not able to fix with food, and you just can't explain. So anyway, I was at a mind, body and spirit fair, and I came across this stall, and it was Pathogenics, and
so it's called Pathogenics.
The practice that I do is called Pathogenics.
So if people listening, look up Pathogenics. You
probably won't find a great deal, to be honest, but my website is Pure Pathogenics. So if you
Pure Pathogenics,
there's more of a deeper explanation about what I do.
Brilliant.
But I saw this stall there, and basically the answer, everything that I've been sort of looking for was there, and it was talking about the fact that if you have symptoms, any kind of symptoms in the body, then pathogens are involved. So whether it's viruses, bacteria, the fungals and yeasts, parasites, metals, toxins of any kind, causing these symptoms. And so that made sense to me. So I think through a good diet, a lot of these can be eliminated, but there's some ones that are so stubborn that doesn't matter what you do, they will stay around.
Do you feel that they hold, so they hold in certain parts of the body more so than other parts of the body? Do you feel it's in the blood system? What do you feel? So if somebody's listening, I'm thinking of my audience here. So if somebody's listening and they're like, oh my God, like I'm always tired and yet I eat really well, and this is what's coming to me about the tiredness.
So what it is, it's those pathogens that come into the body because we pick things up all the time. I mean, at the moment, we're all more aware of that.
So we're recording this on the 21st of April 2020, and there's a great global awakening happening where people are really looking at their bodies, their mind, who they are in the world, aren't they? Yeah,
absolutely.
And definitely their health.
Yes, and worrying about, picking up viruses from other people. So basically we pick things up all the time, and most of the time our immune system will deal with it.
Yes.
We don't even know that we've had it.
Yeah.
Sometimes the immune can't deal with it. And we're talking about remnant pathogens, so small levels of things that you may have picked up from shaking somebody's hand, from soil, from someone coughing on you, surfaces, having an operation and having open wounds. There's all sorts of ways to get pathogens. And when the immune system isn't dealing with it, and that can be in any part of the body, then you can start to get symptoms. Now, what happens is that it's never just one thing. Once, say, a bacteria gets into the body, it kind of opens the door for its friends, and all its friends come to the party. So you end up with kind of a cocktail of, bacterias, fungals, parasites, viruses, whatever, all at a low level. When they come together, form like a cocktail of pathogens, and that's when you start getting things like eczema. Eczema's not just one thing. It's layers and layers of different pathogens.
It's also as well from emotional perspective. I feel that quite often we've got the emotions as well that leads to many messages in the body. So I think it's like a combination, isn't it? So we're looking at what are we attracting into our field of experience and into cellular level.
Yeah, absolutely. So for me, because this practice involved the sort of science part, the biology.
Oh, we love that. Yes.
But the way that we clear these pathogens is through a type of spiritual healing. So of course for me it was encompassing both of my real interests.
I love that, and that's why we found each other. Why you found me and I found you is because being a spiritual scientist, that's exactly how it works. And I love the fact that I'm a real evidence girl, and you're obviously an evidence girl as well, and that's great because we're looking at, let's have some evidence with this. Let's not just accept, and very much at the moment, what perhaps people are being told might not resonate with them, in the world. And there might be just a little bit of them that says, oh, that's really interesting. It kind of doesn't feel right, but this is what I'm being told. And so for us, I just met you, but for us, it's really like, we like the evidence, don't we? So that we then can bring in that beautiful essence of pure universal source energy of healing.
Absolutely. I've just lost my thread.
Sorry.
That's okay.
But no, that's okay.
So what I was talking about was the fact that this brings in this energy healing, and at the time, because people were saying to me, oh, you're such a gifted, powerful distance healer, you should do this, and I wasn't feeling it with the Reiki. This is a different type of distance healing. But
I think Reiki came in on the third dimension, didn't it?
Okay.
No, Rachel, it came in on the third dimension. Pretty much all of us have done Reiki, I would say. Speak to people. It was almost like a stepping stone.
I feel it was certainly at that for me. And I think because when I saw Pathogenics, I understood the concept of distance healing because I'd done it. I knew I could do it. I knew people felt the benefits of it.
Yes.
So for me, it wasn't that much of a stretch that I could remove pathogens using this thing. You know,
I'm getting really excited now. This is brilliant. So if you're listening to this and you're like, oh my God, like I've never heard that you could actually remove pathogens. We're also talking about, you know, the immune system and stuff that goes in, you know,
childhood. I see a lot of people with issues as an adult that have been triggered maybe by some of the things we're given as a child.
Yes, into our bodies.
Absolutely. Some of the metals and toxins and things that can be injected into us
exactly.
have an effect on the body.
Yes.
So absolutely.
And from a very early age as well, Rachel, you know, from a very early age.
Yes. It's quite frightening, really, what babies, you know, and clients will come to me and say, well, I've had this issue from childhood.
Yes.
You know, they've had it all their life, and it makes perfect sense that, you know, things were introduced to the body that are not natural when we're so young.
And do you feel, I mean, I definitely feel this, but do you feel that, you know, we're born and we've got an incredible system, haven't we, of, you know, defense, if we want to call it that, an immune system. We've got an incredible, I mean, we were given an amazing, you know, construction, weren't we, to be able to understand. And I know that, you know, anything goes in through the mouth, the tonsils actually are the thing that says yes or no, like the bouncers at the door, you know, oh yeah, we'll let you in, we won't let you in, you know. So we've got that already. So I suppose when something is put perhaps out of balance, puts things out of balance, would you say?
No, absolutely. And I think, you know, the body, like you say, is an incredible system, and it can heal itself if given the right environment.
Yes.
However, we are constantly putting things into our body, whether that's food or otherwise, you know, even skincare products and things like that, you know, chemicals into the body that the body's not able to deal with everything, and it gets toxic to the point that you know, you've got this cocktail of pathogens in the body, and once your body cannot deal with it, it expresses itself as symptoms. You know, and if those symptoms happen to be around sort of the fatigue mainly, then they'll call it, oh, you've got chronic fatigue symptom. You know, if it's your digestion and you're struggling with, you know, your wind and bloating and your diarrhea and constipation and all of this, then you get given the sort of, oh, you've got IBS. But again, what that is, it's a cocktail of pathogens that you've picked up through life. Sometimes you know you've had something. So if you have a bout of food poisoning, you know that you've had a really acute infection of, say, something like salmonella, you know. However, you can pick up very small amounts of these things, you know, by eating in sort of a dodgy takeaway or food that you've had maybe a little bit too long in the fridge.
These days.
Sorry?
Not so much these days at the moment.
Not at the moment. No. But so we can pick up these remnant amounts of pathogens, or we can have a full-blown illness. You know, if you take chickenpox as an example, you know, most of us have had chickenpox, you know, when we're a child, and then you get over it, you know. So it's the varicella zoster virus that is the chickenpox, causes chickenpox. And so what happens is, yes, you may well have got over it 100%, or you may not. You may have got over it 95%, but there might be 5% of that varicella zoster virus that's hanging around.
Is that why people have shingles later?
Yes.
Is it?
So that's a really good example, that if you've still got a small amount of that virus that your immune system kind of doesn't know what to do with, it can't get rid of it for some reason. So
why not? This is the question. So if we've got this amazing immune system, which we would have, that hasn't been tampered with, is that okay for me to say? If that hasn't been tampered with, then...
Well, mostly it has, hasn't it? It's always been tampered with. And even if as a baby it hasn't been, you can have things passed through the generational line, you know. So I don't think anybody is born with 100% perfect body, to
because
be
we've got
honest.
that epigenetics, haven't we? And we've got
Absolutely.
timelines and
Yeah,
so on. And,
absolutely. So your question was, why doesn't the body get rid of it completely? I don't know is the answer to that. But what I do know is a lot of the time it doesn't. And these things can lay dormant.
Interesting.
And then pop up again. So that's why, yes, shingles, but also things like cold sores is the herpes virus. It's the same family of viruses.
Yes.
And so these things are kind of in the body, dormant, and then maybe we go through a period of stress and the immune system is a little bit compromised.
Yes.
And then all these things show up and suddenly you get a breakout of eczema. Or you get this intense fatigue, you know, that's that sort of thing. And so what I do with a client is that I basically tune into their energy field like you would do with any sort of distance healing, and then I use a pendulum, so I dowse against
so you're using that's really cool,
huge lists of pathogens.
So if anyone's listening to this and they feel that something's showing up in their body, that they've tried everything, that they've kind of, because this is usually what happens, right? So people have tried this and this and nothing has changed it. What you can help them with is they don't even have to come and see you, which is a good thing at the moment.
I've got clients all over the world, you know, which is, I love that because there's just no barriers, you know, and I think before technology, we couldn't have done that.
No, I know. We're so lucky, I know. Like, we happen to be in UK together.
Absolutely.
Talking, but obviously we work all over the world on Zoom like this. But so if you're listening to this and you've got, you know, maybe you've been so tired and you just couldn't get out of bed and you just felt, why am I feeling like this? Because I have a good diet and I'm really healthy. Then this might be an angle to go down, mightn't it?
Absolutely. And that was me, to be honest. That was absolutely me. You know, I would have to go for that nap in the afternoon.
Wow.
And I would think, you know, why? I have a really good diet. I exercise. I'm not stressed, you know. However, I'm still, you know, feeling really tired. I had digestive issues as well. And so so what basically, you know, if somebody out there is struggling with any kind of symptoms, and they probably have been to the doctors, you know, say for example for digestive issues, they've probably been to the doctors, they might have even had a camera and someone had a look and they say, no, you're fine, which is really annoying because that person knows they're not fine, they're experiencing these symptoms every day. They know something's not right. So what I will do is basically how the process starts is I will test them. So I tune into them. I go through all my lists of pathogens, and I see what resonates. So I can see what the pendulum is telling me what they've got, and then I produce basically a report of what I've found, and then I speak to the client you know, over the phone, and I will run through the list and tell them what I found and what symptoms come with each of those pathogens, because each pathogen will have its own sort of set of common symptoms, sometimes in different parts of the body, you know. So for example with Candida,
can you give us an example?
So for instance with Candida albicans is probably one that most people have heard of. For some people it can really affect the digestion, give them a lot of digestive issues. For other people, it's skin. Wow. Really, you know, it can contribute to things like eczema and itchy skin. For other people, it can affect sinuses. And so, you know, something like clearing the candidas from somebody can make a big difference in the body. You know. Other pathogens, a very specific area, you know, it causes this, and you know, like, I don't know, maybe some sort of ear pathogen, it can cause a blocked ear, you know, it's that, and you clear it and it's that one function. But normally all pathogens will give you a little bit of fatigue, because what's happening in the body is that part of the immune's almost having to go and look after this pathogen. It's taking soldiers from the front line of your immune system, having to go and sort of watch over these, but not be able to do anything with them. And of course that takes energy.
That's tiring, right? That's tiring.
Absolutely.
What about medication? So if somebody is taking medication, would that be contributing factor to being tired sometimes, would you say?
It depends. I mean, it's because I'm not a doctor. If people are taking medication, I would never say to them,
and you can still work with them, right?
Oh, absolutely, still work with them. Absolutely, still work with them. I would never say don't take it. You know, if something's helping them, then you know, that's something they would need to discuss with their doctor. But if somebody takes medication for a very long time, and as we know, if anybody actually reads the side effects,
on the piece of paper that you get,
that people just throw away, if you have a look, there's a whole list of side effects. And sometimes, so say for example with antidepressants, one of the side effects is depression. So for some people, and if you take I know
it's like ironic, isn't it? It's like, you know, it's
and things like tamoxifen, which is the drug for breast cancer, can cause cancer. So it might help with the breast cancer, but give you cancer somewhere else. I mean, it's like we're going mad. This world is just, you know, anyway, don't get me started.
There's no, we love our soapboxes,
we do. But basically what I can do is what is going back to your question is I can test them for toxicity on that medication.
Yeah, which is amazing. So if you're taking medication and you feel, oh my God, I'm taking this medication, I just don't know if it's working, but I should take it because I've been told I should take it. Why not get a test to find out if it really does?
Well, what I can see is if there's any toxicity in the body from that medication.
Yeah, wow.
So what I do is very specific. Although I'm using energy healing and I'm using a pendulum, I can't use my pendulum for anything else. So if I try to use it for finding a missing necklace or
doesn't work,
asking, you know, who's going to be the next prime minister, it gives me all sorts of weird and wonderful answers because I'm tuned in. You're
tuned into that
specific energy that we use for the pathogen clearing. So I'm basically looking for toxicity. So whether that's toxicity from a pathogen or from a medication, I can also look at things like gluten and lactose if people
really good,
you know, feel that they're sort of intolerant.
What about electromagnetic fields? Can you check for that as well?
I do that on myself. It's not something I'd feel comfortable charging for because it's kind of a bit of an unknown. So I don't want to say yes, I can absolutely clear that. I mean, it's energy like anything else. So technically,
some people are really sensitive to it.
Absolutely, and it's certainly something I would explore with a client if they said to me, "I would really like you to test me and let's try and clear it," you know. But what I would say, it's not a tried and tested part of what I do.
What you do, no,
but
exactly.
Having said that, we're experimenting all the time with things. You know? So
to get to pinpoint really, because sometimes, I mean, I've heard of that before where people have said, when I used to have a practice in London, a physical practice many years ago now, someone came to me and they said they literally are so sensitive to anything. So the phone had to be turned off, everything, like any laptops, anything like that. They literally could not be in the room with that going on. So it's amazing, isn't it, how some people are really sensitive to it. Perhaps people are becoming more sensitive to it.
Well, I think there's more of it, isn't there? So, absolutely.
That's a discussion for another day.
Yes.
So if people, so this is really fascinating, and I love this kind of stuff because for me, science is key for us understanding who we are as well as the soul connection and the source connection. So if people they're listening to this, they felt drawn to listen to this podcast as you did, and they feel drawn to work with you, could you offer them, Rachel, sort of like a consultation where you know, if they're not sure and they just want to kind of like talk to you? And
I'm happy to have a chat. I mean, what I normally say to people is read through my website.
Say your website name again.
It's purepathogenics.co.uk. If anybody reads through that and they're still not sure and they've got questions, then please get in touch.
Because it is a specialised area.
Absolutely, really. It's really quite new, and most people, even in the sort of energy healers field, haven't heard of it.
Sure.
But it is incredible. It's so effective. But people might look at my website and think, well, the condition that I've got isn't on there, so I don't know if she can help with that.
Yeah.
And please just get in touch and let me know.
Yes. And then you can explore, can't you? You can sort of say, well, look, actually, I can help you with this, or perhaps not, you know.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And even things like muscle aches and pains and stiff necks and things like that, which you think, oh, it's structural, it's nothing to do with pathogens. There's a huge amount of pathogens where their symptoms are stiff neck and shoulders, muscle aches and pains. You know, like when we have the flu, we ache all over.
Yeah.
Well, if you've got remnant pathogen of some kind of flu virus, you can have that constant underlying. That could be the only symptom you're getting.
Isn't that incredible? That's amazing. Yeah.
But once you realise this, it is absolutely fascinating. Absolutely fascinating.
It sounds like you're so passionate about, you know, and I love talking to passionate people because I'm one of them. And so for me, like doing what I do, I'm so passionate about it. So I'm really so pleased that you found me, that you reached out to me. And I'm so pleased that I had space today to talk to you, because I feel this is really going to help a lot of people not only realize that they are so much more than this physical body, and that they have a power within them to heal themselves, which is so incredible, but also that, you know, don't suffer in silence, and don't think that just because you've been told that there, you know, there's nothing going on with you, you're making it all up, or it's all in your mind. I've heard that a lot from people. Then I suppose there's something to be said for it's emotional as well, because obviously there's no separation between mind, body and soul. But if you're listening to this and you feel, oh my God, this could be my answer, then please, please, please get in touch with Rachel Doyle. And just, Rachel, give us your website again.
So it's Pure Pathogenics. That's Pathogenics, Pathogenics. So Pure Pathogenics.
.com or .uk?
Sorry. purepathogenics.co.uk.
Yeah, so .co.uk. And if you're American and you're listening to it, you often call it .co.uk, which I love, actually. It's quite fun. So please get in touch with Rachel. I've had so much fun talking to her today. I'm really interested. I can't wait to share this across my social media. So wherever you are listening to this, whether it's on podcast, iTunes, Stitcher, or wherever it is, or you found it on my YouTube channel or Rachel's social media, then please reach out. And if you've got a spiritual awakening story, or you've got something you want to share with my audience of how you had a turning point which really transformed the way you help the collective, I would love to hear from you. And if you want to hear my spiritual awakening story, go to episode 1. Thank you so much for joining me. SusanKennard.co.uk on the Spiritual Awakener.